Whew, wow. I don't know where you are in the world, but wow, I'm in Toronto right now and it is like I think it hit 100 degrees here today and we're just getting into June. Amazing. I'm not complaining, but wow, like my office is like screaming hot right now. And so it says it's so hot in here. And you can see I got my fan on in the background, it's going. So if that distracts you, well, that's what it's for. It's like it's a pattern interrupt, but at the same time it's to keep Uncle Joey um cool in this place to be. And you know what? I just realized that I didn't even fix um my fancy software system here. Oh, maybe it did. Hey, I did. Hey, that's weird. I was just gonna say, you know what? I was messing around before Scott got here, and his picture was not up. But because I guess you just come in, it automatically says Scott is so important that we Ecamm are going to automatically put his picture into this scene. So there he is. My one of my best friends in the world, Scott Vogel, in the house. Thanks. Hang on, I'll do it. Maybe I can do it on my side here, bro. I wonder if I can do that. How do I do that? Scott Vogel. Hang on. I'm going to move you around. Can I? Oh, man, I can't do that. All right. My bad. Or maybe I can. Wait, whoa. I can move you around, I think. Whoa, wait a minute. I can zoom you in and I can move you around. There you go. This is like, you know what? Watch out, world. Watch out, world. Oh my gosh. Let's go into let's say some hi. Jin is here. They can't hear you again. Why can they not hear you? What did I do wrong? This happens. Why does this happen? What did we do last time? I see. Camilla, can you hear Scott? Amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, she can't hear you. Okay. Okay, so it's on my side, bro. Like I forget what we did last time for this. Hang on a minute. I will change up some stuff here, and hopefully this will bring you into the mix. Say hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Okay. How about that? Can you hear Scott now? Please
Camilla,
let me know.
Any better? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
It's this fancy stuff. All right, now we got you. See? Okay. I got it, man.
Okay.
I got you, bro. It was that one change. Remember when we were off in the green room ourselves and I was messing around
Yes.
playing around with the settings? Totally screwed it up.
You're always playing around with the
totally screwed it up.
That's what you do.
That's what it's all about, man. If you don't screw it up, like what else are you going to talk about?
Well, I was on a live earlier today with a friend in another group, and she's like, "This is the first time I'm doing StreamYard with multiple people and sharing. I'm not sure it's going to work." I'm like, "Hey, that's how we learn stuff. You get on, you do it, you figure it out, and then after you do it 10 times, you're the expert." So,
yeah, well, I've tried now 122 times, and I'm still not the expert at it. So, what does that tell you?
100 times. That's crazy.
120, yeah, 122. So yeah, let's get into this topic. I don't know what happened this morning, but I was inspired or whatever again to look at Peter Drucker's Effective Executive book, and I got my notes on it and I started looking at the notes again. I go, huh. And I think I was responding to a post or something about it. And as I was reading through it, it was like, wow, this is so it just adapts. How long ago did he write that?
Oh, boy.
In the 60s, 50s? When was it? 40s?
60s, I think.
60s, because it could be that old. But yeah, something like that. And it just totally applies to our online world. So I took some notes, moved them over, and even though the book is so male oriented way back then, he, this and that, but always about the effective executive. I just wanted to go through and bring up a couple of the of notes and just kind of talk around them, so people now listening who maybe haven't read the book or even have read the book can relate to how it affects us in our business.
By the way, 1966, just for the record.
There you go. Thank you very much. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that um, will jump off of last week, which was the 96%, like doing things less, taking time and making sure that you're doing productive stuff. And Peter Drucker is known for that. He's known as the productive dude. He's the guy I think that was one of the very first to do uh, time studies, and
Mhm.
so that's one of the very first things that I think we all need to do. As you know, I did this with my elite group back in January. I think we do it every quarter. We do like a time study. I did it for myself just because you have to know where your time goes. And this will relate back into the focus of the business and all this. But Peter Drucker, even when I read it the very first time many years ago, was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Like, because when I started working with people to help them be more productive, I stole it right from Peter and just go, okay, well, the first thing we need to do is know where your time goes, because as entrepreneurs, we just bounce around and do everything. And I've said it a million times here that one of the things that I learned from Eben Pagan was the 50-minute focus, which he learned from Dean Jackson, I think, who brought it up. But I learned it from Eben, so I'm going to give him credit. And that changed my world. And then I started to teach that years and years ago. And I still do it today. And you and I do you call them Pomodoros, which they are. They're Pomodoros, but that's a time focus or a 50-minute focus session. And I think that a lot of our production is because of that, is because of those 50-minute focus sessions. Would you agree?
I totally agree. When I look at tasks that need to be done, things that I have to get done. And the other day I needed to get some things done. And what do? We jumped on and we did a bunch of Pomodoros.
Right.
And we just go. We do 50 minutes. And the focus for that 50 minutes is there's nothing else. And the accountability piece is, to me, the biggest piece. Because, yeah, I could do stuff. But if you're not on the other end, or if somebody's not on the other end that I'm accountable to, and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to finish this. And then the 50 minutes is up, and it's like, what'd you do? Well, I got it done. Good. What are you going to do now? There, when I first started doing those about 5 years ago, I built, like, I think 7 courses in the span of a few months. That's all I did every day was accountability sessions, Pomodoros, and
Yeah.
they are hands down, to me, the single most effective way to be productive.
Have you done a time study?
No.
Why not?
Time
Okay.
study as in,
Just curious.
no, just hasn't been something that's put in front of me to say, hey, you should do a time study.
Cool. Okay. So I don't want to I'm going to jump around here on some of the stuff here to relate it back to helping people get past the productivity and or the fear, or it's really, I think the focus here for me at the start of this is what really piqued my interest to talk about this was seeing many posts this week about having a program or being in it for a couple of years and not doing anything, being stuck in procrastination and this kind of stuff. And that what I do is just all about, don't worry about it, like just do the first thing and get that out there and sell
Right.
the idea, don't even worry about that stuff. So that's kind of what piqued this. And then I just started looking at this these notes and then reading through them, just because it was to executives. I'm like, wow, this really relates to entrepreneurs. So I'm going to read out a couple things here and maybe get your feedback and even our amazing tribe of what the feedback is. The obvious one here is, again, we'll start off with time, but I think it's really important for us to keep hearing this. And Peter said, one cannot rent, buy, hire, or otherwise obtain more time. We all know that. Executives and I'll change the words executives into online entrepreneurs because it's all the same. Online entrepreneurs do not start with their tasks. I should say, I'm going to, it's successful online entrepreneurs. Successful online entrepreneurs do not start with tasks. They start with their time. And that's the first clue. As you know, I'm a big proponent of what does your dream day look like? What is your dream business? And how does your dream day fit into your dream week, right? That's why I said we're going to kind of parachute and jump off of last week's topic of 96% doing like only 4% and still getting like a whole lot more done. And so that's the truth. The truth is that I have never been really great at writing out my tasks in the morning and here's what I'm going to do today. Um, I've always been, how much time do I have today and what needs to get done to move the business forward, the mission forward. That's how my brain works. It's not that it's right, 100% right. That's just how I do it. But I've always been protective, kind of protective of my time to say, here's what I'm going to do. And that's why my mornings are like that. It's always, I don't do anything in the morning except for me, as you know.
Yeah.
So like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, so that the online entrepreneurs, successful people, don't start with their tasks, they start with their time.
I'm in full agreement with it. And you know that in the last 5 or 6 weeks, I've kind of transitioned away from the opposite, which was what are all the tasks I need to get done today? And that's how I lived for 2 years, which was
Mhm.
crazy, stressful. And I didn't love it at the end of it. Now it's, I wake up and say, okay, who do I need to talk to today? What do I need to do from a standpoint of time wise? Well, I've got this time, this time, and this time. And that's how I look at my days now is in time and not necessarily tasks. I still look at who do I have to talk to today to get done to move my business forward? So maybe it's kind of a combination of things. Like today, I told you today I did a live, and the live
Yeah.
was about serving. And will it move my business forward? Yeah, because now there's more people out there who know about the one thing I'm playing with now, landing pages, which is what one of the things that you keep saying to everybody, to me, is get known for one thing, get out there and do it, help people with the one thing. So
Right.
today was scheduled pretty much the afternoon was the time was to talk about other people's landing pages and help them get clarity in their landing pages and doing what we do. Who's your dream client and this and helping them fix things so that I'm deeper into what I love to do. It
Right.
wasn't about a task. Yeah, there's things on the list, but those didn't get done today because today was about the time commitments to what I'm doing and what I want to do.
Yeah, and you touched on another thing that Peter brought up in the 60s, which in the 60s was what, the Industrial Revolution? It was
Yeah,
something like that. Uh, where there was a lot of industrial workers and things like that. And at that time, Peter said, the future belongs to the knowledge worker. And that was in the 60s.
that was in
And
the 60s. That's crazy.
yeah, and that's why I want to bring that up because we're people still think we're in the knowledge area or the arena, which we kind of are. Like, but that's really where online businesses are. It used to be information business, then the knowledge business, right? Now it's more of the experiential and guidance and that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, let's just pretend we're in that in the smack dab of the knowledge thing, and just think about how long ago he said that you're going to be paid for your knowledge.
40 years ago, he said, we're going to be paid for our knowledge.
Incredible, right?
That's amazing.
And so today, here's the quote he said. He said that the executive, and this is for listen to ourselves as a successful person would say, what are the things that I seem to be able to do with relative ease? Now think about what I'm saying here, Scott, and related to what I teach in Atlas, if you can relate it to any one of the tools. What are the things that I seem to be able to do with relative ease while they come rather hard to other people? And this is what he said back down in the 60s. to where what we talk about all the time is like just get known for what you do really, really well. That's easy for you to do. That's really hard for other people, and you will become very successful at it.
I like to say, what do you know the others don't know that they need to know, which is the same thing. And that's what you teach in Atlas, and that's everything we talk about is we get paid for what we know that others don't know that they need to know because that's our superpowers. It all goes back to superpowers and dream clients who need our superpowers. And that's what he was talking about. And successful online entrepreneurs know that that's what it's about right now. It's not about information. It's not about more stuff. It's about what can we do?
Well, yeah, I don't know if they know. That's why we're doing these shows.
Right.
Like, I think that there's too many of them who think it's just about information. Like, I've had quite a few chats this week, believe me, and there's been a few of them who are new, I guess, new to the space or something, and it's like, I'm always curious, like, so what are you doing? What are you building? What's kind of thing you're doing? And it's all, I've got this database of stuff that I know, and I'm making a course out of it. And that was it. It was like, basically they're saying I'm gonna write down all this stuff, record it, and put it up and sell it.
Right.
That ain't
Put
gonna
all
work.
these modules up with all these things. I was on today with someone, and this was a little thing, Joey, but it's kind of on what we're talking about. I went through the guy's opt-in, and I got the thing, and it was a 5-page ebook. And I said, "It's not 5 pages." He goes, "Yeah, it is 5 pages." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "It's maybe 1 or 2 pages." I said, "But you got all this extra stuff and headings and pictures and graphics." I said, "I'm going to print all that stuff out and get pissed off because I wasted all my ink printing off this stuff."
That's a valid point.
That's me. I want to, well, it's like the superpower matrix, Joey. You got even a little too much at the top, but still. I mean, this is what I did with it. It still says your superpowers from Joey Ragona Superpower Matrix.
I can't see the other one, by the way.
So there's the other one.
Perfect.
Well, but all I did was eliminate that much more ink that has to get used by somebody because I respect ink and I don't want to print out. But all I was saying was it was like 5 pages. I was like, why don't you just tell them that it's 2 pages of really good information? Or even a white paper that's 1 page that gives you everything you need on that 1 piece of paper. And if somebody could print out 1 piece of paper, it's like we talk about all the time. The first value, the gift, the thing is, how can we make it so easy rather than print out my 32-page ebook that I'll never read? Or take my course that's got 97 modules over the next 19 weeks. Nobody consumes stuff anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, the idea is to now, if you're listening to any of these broadcasts, we're kind of giving you an insight to the future that it's like, this is about experiential guidance. That's what you're doing on your landing page stuff. You're going in and you're guiding people. You're teaching them stuff. It's knowledge. It's this and that, but you're still guiding them. There's still insight. It's the GI. You're the GI Joe, right?
Yeah.
The GI Scott.
Yeah.
Here's guidance and insight about this,
Yeah.
right? And holy crap, I got to write that down. GI Joe. It's going to work for me.
That's a good one, Joey. There's your next email, GI Joe.
Guidance and insight.
Because you're right. That's what it is, Joey. We are guiding them with the insight that we have.
And if that's all we do, sorry, man. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
if that's all we do, it's really important.
Go on, keep going.
No, I just wanted to make sure that it's not about just the knowledge anymore. Because as I'm reading all this stuff and making it very easy, like your knowledge is great. It's your experience, it's your insight that is the catapulting whatever, the thing that's going to catapult your business into the stratosphere over and above everybody else who is just selling knowledge now, and they're not really selling knowledge. They're still selling information.
It's information. It's not knowledge. You're right. Thank you for clarifying that. And you and I do it on you and I have very similar superpowers in our ability to get somebody on the other side of this and go do a deep dive and pull out of them things. I just mentioned, I reviewed 3 pages today. 3 people, very bright, really good quality content, but it was all, they were putting on their marketing hats and they were trying to sell their stuff with words instead of the guiding people with what they know.
Yeah.
And the ability to look at it and pull through it and say, what is it that you're really doing? I can't I can't put that in a book. I can't teach that in a program. What you and I do a lot of times, when we get somebody, and at the end of it, it's like your ability to do that and to ask different questions. Like there was 3 different people, and not one was the same. I didn't ask the same questions. It wasn't like I followed the script, and
Yeah.
if I put you in front of 500 people and you had 5 minutes, well, that was one. And then I didn't use that in the next one because the next one was like, holy cow, there's something on the bottom of your page I had to scroll down to that should be at the top. That's your secret. One of them, you'll love this one, Joey, was she was afraid to be different. She
Oh
did,
my God.
she didn't want to go out and ruffle any feathers. She just wanted to play it safe when she was told that she was like, prissy or cocky or whatever the word was that was used by a very famous actor who ended up hiring her. And he did because of that, because she wasn't just like anybody else. And then I got into the repelling more than you attract and 7 billion people. And if your
Yeah.
target audience, there's 100 million of them, how many of those do you actually need? So to be yourself and be unique and be different, and we guide people with what we know. And it's
Yeah.
not like I was once told, Scott, you have the ability to woo people like I've never seen before. This was one of my champions, to win others over. Because I could sit at a table with 15 people I've never met before. And by the end of the lunch or the dinner or the meeting, it would be like, yeah, we're all in. And I can't teach somebody that. I can't give you a formula. What we do, we have to show up and be it. It'd be very difficult to put it into. It's like copy. You look at something and say, well, I just know how to rewrite this.
Yeah.
Not because I read this book and the book said, if something's written this way, we've done it so many times. Go.
My weakness became my strength. I know how long it takes to answer emails. Okay. I think that we're talking, that goes back to um, the time management stuff. And well being a time discipline is equals time equals freedom. Yep. We'll come back to the time again because I want to talk a little bit more about that too. And that's why I hate to PDFs with the dark frames, colored backgrounds, a lot of pictures, just eating inks, let me paying off. So it's like me paying a lot for a freebie. Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
Thank you.
Okay. So the, what is another quote here I wanted to come up
Where
with
are we at,
here?
Joey?
Oh, this one is really important for the procrastination piece, or I'm afraid to put stuff out or whatever. And he said that people in general grow according to the demands they make on themselves. And I think that's just huge. If they put little demand on themselves, they will remain stunted. And this is huge. This is uh when I remember in the last cohort that just finished of Atlas, there was one dude who came in and basically was stunted for 11 weeks, off and on, off and on, off and on. And we just kept on saying, listen, you're not going anywhere. You're already not doing anything. So you may as well go try this, and you'll be at least further ahead, knowing it either didn't work or it kind of worked, right? Because you're already kind of failing.
So
So you're already stunted.
what are you trying to say here, Joey? What point are you trying to make here?
I'm trying to make the point that get off your butt and just go do it.
Right.
Right? They insist that meeting and like the way that I get out of procrastination myself is, why am I doing this? And I know why I'm doing it. Like I do know why, and I'm not sure that many people really do know why. And we've heard it so many times before. What's the why? What's the why? But do they really know? And are they committed to making that why happen? And yes, I know it's a family. You want all your family to be secure and time with your family and all that stuff. But really, what's the business for?
Mhm.
Like one of the biggest questions I ask private clients is, why does this business exist? What is it for? It's not to have more time with your family. Like,
Right.
what is it for? Because you're starting a business and you're taking away time from your family when you start it. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
So why does the business exist? And if you say to me, well, to make money so I can be with my family and all that kind of, I call BS. So, okay, sure. So that means you're chasing money, which means that you're again avoiding, and it's just my personal opinionated knowledge base on it because I've seen it for over a decade.
Yeah.
And you're just chasing money and you're sacrificing relationships to go get that money that you think is going to give you more freedom and time with your family. How do I know that? Because that's what I was doing in my 40s or late 30s, 40s, early 40s, telling everybody and myself that I was doing this for my family. But all I was doing was chasing the next gig, which sacrificed the time of watching my son grow up,
Hmm.
right? So I'm bringing it up is because the demand you put on yourself is it the right demand? So is there a purpose for your business? And if you have the purpose and the mission, then that's what's going to get you out of procrastination. I'm doing it for this reason. You,
What about me?
any thoughts? Or like, what are you doing it for? What's the purpose
The
of your
purpose,
business?
the purpose
Why does your business exist?
my business exists now is to truly serve people, help them to serve others in a heart-centered, purpose-driven way. It's to help people that are spiritual connect with the people that need what they have because they don't know how to do it. And I know how to help them do that. And to me, at the end of the day, if I can teach somebody how to help somebody with their gifts, then it's a good day for me. And whether it's yoga, whether it's copy, or whether it's a landing page, or it's connecting spiritual seekers to spiritual guides. And that's what it is. Somebody called me a spiritual matchmaker, and I kind of like that because
Cool.
it was, it's up there. It was like, these people are hidden from the world because they don't know how to cut through the BS that they've learned. So if I can help them do that and help create communities like I exist in here where people prosper and grow and heal,
Yep.
that, yeah. Do I want to make money? Yeah. Do I need to make money? Yeah. That's all part of it. That's not why I do it. I do it so at the end of the day, I've got this amazing group of people that I get to hang out with and play with.
Yeah, and
That's
I'd like to put that out to the tribe here if you're willing to play with us and put it into the chat. Like why does your business exist?
Yeah.
It's a deep question. Like, why does it exist? And the answer can't be money. Forget money. I don't want to hear anything about money because we all know we need to make money to survive and drive the mission forward and all that. But
It's
why does it exist?
It's not money. It's not freedom. It's not security. It's not all that. Those are part of the vision statements of the
Yeah.
mechanics and the structure of what we have to do in order to sustain life. But if we had all of that, then what? And
Yeah.
that's, you've taken me to task over the past on that to get to this point where that's what it's all about. What's
Yeah.
it for you, Joey?
That's easy. It's really about sacrifice, like all what we've touched on here, which is to stop entrepreneurs from sacrificing their life
Yeah,
for their business.
yeah,
That's the main mission, the whole thing. because I've seen it, I've lived it, watched my dad go through it. Like there's so many reasons why, and I continue to see that. And so everything that I do points to how do I stop you from sacrificing? That's it. Whether even if it's just go do this 50-minute focus so you don't sacrifice 8 hours of your day, right? Trying to go from one thing to another, which again, Peter talks a lot about because you're always resetting. You're being, you're working on something and got a minute. Oh yeah, sure. What do you got? Oh, okay. And then you go like, what was I working on again? And you're
Yeah.
trying to get back into that. Whereas if you did what we do, I know I do, 50-minute focuses every single day. There's at least 2 or 3 of them every single day. So I know that I have 3 hours of focus time, and if that's all I did and screwed off for the rest of the day or bounced around and did all kinds of stuff, I got work done,
Oh
like,
yeah.
every day, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's cool. So that's what it's all about, is if I can teach you one thing to help you not sacrifice 8 hours, and at the end of the week, you're like, "What did I get done?" Well, if I just give you one tip and show you the 50-minute focus and you do one of those a day, by the way, and this is a tip for everybody listening. If you do one of those a day, because that's how I started, your productivity will go up by 80%. And
Huge.
that's only doing 50 minutes, one a day for 5 days. If you do that, I promise you your productivity will go up 80%. And when I heard that, I didn't believe Eben. I went back, and you know me, when I hear something, I'm like, I'm gonna go try that.
Yep.
Right? I'm just an implementer. And I did it, and I'll never look back. I'll never forget because it was that, I flew back on a Sunday from the workshop, and it was like, all right, this week I'm going to go do this because I was the worst person in terms of productivity and bouncing around and doing nothing all day. So that's what it is for me. Stop
So,
sacrificing your life.
do we have any feedback from the tribe? Yeah, I think we do. Lissandro's got a bunch of stuff in there.
I'll let you read that one.
Regarding procrastination, I create one mini workshop in a week and sold 3. This was
Nice.
inspired because both of you.
All right. Congratulations.
Okay.
That's amazing, man.
That's
Wow.
because the last few weeks, Lissandro was asking questions and this. He wanted to get away from what he didn't like doing. So he created a mini workshop. And bring up the next one. He's got like 3 different. If
I
you
love
would,
this.
Joey, bring up his next one. I'd like to read that. He said, I shifted my business into doing things to my tribe and from my superpower. Holy cow. This gave time away from social network and allowed me to focus with my gifts. Exactly what he was asked last week was to get away from all that stuff. And then he's got
Total
one.
implementer. I love you, man. This is
That's
great, Lissandro.
Sandro, that you just the courage to do what he's done and just make those changes that quick and not be like, yeah, I'll get around to it. He stopped social media. He did what he loved, which was helping people with poetry and come up with their ideas for poetry. That's what he was passionate about. And he didn't like the social media stuff and he didn't like all the other stuff. And so what did he do? He created a workshop and he sold 3. And then he says, my business exists because some people need insights and awareness to get in touch with their spirit and express their life lessons in the poem. Wow.
This is amazing.
Joey, my why is to come on this show on Tuesday nights and have people like Lisandro show up, listen to what we talk about, go implement, take action, do something, and change his life and the lives of other people to be able to help poets express themselves and their spirit. Oh my God.
You got some props here, bro. Not only from us, from the amazing tribe that we have here. So congratulations, Lissandro. This is totally awesome. Congratulations. You deserve it.
And I don't
You
know
deserve it.
who is that, because I'm in both groups right now.
I don't know.
There must be a third one I'm not in. We're everywhere. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Booze Claw, you name it. We're there.
Booze Claw.
Booze Claw. That's the newest social media platform.
Oh my God. Holy crap.
going to take over the world. You should get in it now, but it's by invite only.
Uh, oh my gosh. Monica says her why. I want women to be happy, love themselves, and feel alive and radiant the way that they are right now. That affects everyone around them, making the world a happier place, one woman at a time. Perfect. I love it. That's why your business exists, right? How can I make women more happy and feel alive and just as they are? Perfect. Lorna, the last time I really thought about why my business exists, it was to help women to be independent, financial security for them, and to be able to put family first. And has it changed? Because it could still be that, right? It doesn't mean that what you were doing before, because I know you're shifting. You shifted from what you were doing before and different businesses, and this is for everybody. I want everybody to know that is it doesn't like the why doesn't change, right, Scott? Like for me, it's always been about the sacrifice. Even when I was um, teaching real estate entrepreneurs or real estate investors, like how to raise money, it was still about I'm going to help you stop sacrificing because they were still doing that. They were still going to events and flying all over. They were still sacrificing their life some way, somehow. So I think when you really tap into like the why of what you do, the business is attached to that why, no matter what it is. Do you agree?
I agree totally, completely, 100%. Like I told you today, I did a live in another group for 2 hours. We were going to do like 20 minutes. I went for 2 hours. Why? Because exactly, there were people I knew who needed to be connected to people and they didn't know how to do it. And there was no offer, there was no stack, there was nothing. It was about how do I help them? And you, from the moment I met you, was about people not struggling and finding ways so that they didn't struggle, so that it was easier. Your whole thing is, Joey, I purposely for 2 years struggled just so you could prove that I didn't have to struggle anymore.
Was that the plan?
No, that's the plan. You just didn't know it. I was like, I'm going to struggle for 2 years no matter what Joey says. I'm going to be a multiplier. I'm going to be launching products all the time. And one day I will finally let Joey convince me that there's an easier way just so he can be right. No, it's just
Yeah, like let me see how real this guy is. I'm gonna suffer for the 2 years here just so I can see if this guy's right.
it's like
What a
the
plan.
Bible. I'm going to suffer and struggle for years so that one day the clouds open up and the bright light appears and then it all changes.
Well,
So
thank you for listening to me, bro.
in all seriousness, like now it's like, what am I doing today? I'm going to do a live and help some people a couple hours. I'm going to write a little copy. I'm going to play a little bit with, the thing that I'm doing. And that's it. I'm good. Instead of, holy crap, I got these. I used to say, I'm exhausted from just reading what you said you did today. Would you like to read
Yeah,
Ginger's?
it's true. I used to, yeah, I was sometimes I'd avoid the question like, "What'd you do today?"
What'd you
I'm
do
like,
today?
oh
Well,
my
I
god,
did
here we go.
that, I did that, I did that, and I did that. I built a landing page, and I did this. You're like, oh my god, I'm exhausted. I got up and took a nap, and then I
It
had a
was,
call.
dude. It was like, okay, it reminded me of one of my very first clients ever, and it was in the real estate industry, and she was like that, and she wore the busy badge of honor, and I think that's what you're doing too, maybe to a degree, but that's what she called it, and I called it, and a lot of people do that, and I'm not not yeah, I guess I don't know the word. What's the word? I was a part of this as well, so I'm not calling anybody else out
Yeah,
because I was there. But I remember when I first met her, um, we went through her day, and dude, like you think you had it, like I'm telling you, like literally, we had 3 full scap pieces of paper on the poster thing, and I said, "Tell me about your day. Like, what does your time look like?" And I literally put out everything that she did because she started at 5:30 in the morning, and it started out with like I wake up at 5:30, and then between 5:30 and 5:45, I have my toast. I'm like, okay, so I'm writing down all like the details of 15-minute increments sometimes, and it was 3 pages worth of stuff. And
yeah.
I looked at it and I said, "Can you tell me where your family is in this?" And she would point it out, say, "Right there between 12 and 1, that's lunch. It's right there. It says lunch with the kids." And I asked her, where else? And then she said, 5 to 7, that's dinner time. Point them out. I go, let me ask you a question. Is your phone on? Yeah. Where is the phone? It's on my hip. Why? Because I can't miss a call. And that's what I mean by sacrifice.
Yeah.
So not only was her complete day filled with all these 50-minute increments, and if she missed one of them, it would be totally chaotic, and then that screwed up the entire day, and she was like the Tasmanian devil to her family and everything else, right?
Yep.
That was one problem. But now it's like, well, you're not present at all, even though you got everything timed out, and you're wearing the busy badge of honor. You're thinking you're going to all these things, saying, look at how busy and successful I am." And she agreed with it. She's like, "You're right." And so that was a huge eye opener again for that time period of saying, this is my purpose. It's just to help people like this, thinking that they are doing productive things when they are not.
I'm going to read this one for you to answer, okay?
Hmm.
From Jim. I kind of understand less work, more productive. But as a beginner, I still have a full time job and build my online business at the same time. So I work a lot. Of course, I try to be productive. Do I not need to sacrifice my time for my business? Confused.
Okay, this is a great question.
Yeah.
Um, because this is how I started in the coaching world, was with people like yourself, Jen. They were people in real estate investing who had jobs, who wanted to quit their jobs and replace it with real estate investing. So they were basically starting another business. And I am the type of person who comes at life as reality. Go figure. So we always did a time study. It was like, okay, so when do you go to work? 8 to 5? Great. How long does it take you to get home? So basically, it was that they were out of their house at 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, travel time included. Okay. Then they come home and like, what do you do when you come home? And well, they've got to eat, and maybe some of them had kids. So let's now say that they were till 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. And by that time, so now you have 7 to 9. That's dead hours. There's nothing you can do in there, unless you're cheating and you're at work and you're working in your business. But let's pretend you're not. Now, what are you going to do? Well, are you going to go straight into your business, which a lot of them did? A lot of them went straight from their dinner time or whatever it was right into the business, and they were wondering why they were so drained. And it was because there's only so much time you have. So you have to be protective of time. And it's it's not that you're sacrificing, it's called strategic commitment. There's a difference. And so sacrifice means I'm just going to just do whatever I have to do and just deal with it, and when I get stressed out and whatever, I get the flu and it doesn't matter. And that's not the way to do it. So you have to look at how much time do I realistically have. That's the first thing you need to do. Is you have a part-time job, and whatever time you have left is where you can potentially fit your business in. Okay, that's the first clue. It's not that you're going full tilt either, because you can't go from coming at home at or starting at 9 and working till 3 in the morning and then getting up and going to work at 7. You'll kill yourself. Ask me how I know. Um, so that's the first piece of that, is the strategic commitment of it, and say, I only got this many hours that I can put in. Let's call it, for the lack of better, lack of whatever, it's like 5 hours per week. That's when the stuff we're talking about here comes into play, which is the 50-minute focus. The I'm gonna work on this piece of my business to move it forward. And there's a lot of rabbit holes I'm gonna go down here, because this is a brilliant question, and so many things are coming into my head that are important, because it's not just a very blanket answer. The first is strategic commitment. The second one is like knowing how much time you have. The third is doing 50-minute focus sessions in those hours that you have. And I think the one of the most important things about those focus sessions is knowing what you need to do. And we talked about this, was it last week, Scott, or the week before, when I said, um, what's the word? What's the thing I'm thinking of? Just in case learning as opposed to just in time learning.
Last week.
That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like these are key elements that I learned early on. Again, learned that one from Rich Sheffer. Like, I'm not taking credit for this stuff. I just learn it and go, that's brilliant, and I'm going to do that. And so that's what I find, and this relates to all of us, all of online entrepreneurs. Back then, it was for real estate investors when I was helping them grow. Is like, stop going to multifamily conferences when you're buying condos. Like, don't worry about multifamily things right now. We're just do this. Yeah, you don't need it right now. When you need it, then you go and learn that. So it's the same for us. It's if you're not going to do Facebook ads or whatever right now, then don't learn about Facebook ads. Like, just do this thing right now. So those are the main components of that answer. I know I went really long on there, but that's what I believe needs to get done.
Well, Joey, you may have gone long, but you kind of went deep also. And it goes to what's the one thing that you're going to do? And for Jen, if it's whatever her one thing is, then the focus sessions need to be to get that one thing done. Like, I'll go back to Lisandro, was after last week, his one thing was, I want to do a mini course that will help people express their life lessons in poems. And I'm sure that he focused and did that. So what is the one thing that Jen will focus on in that time that's not full time? Because she's got the
Yeah,
full time job.
and like from I got the quote up here just to remind me all the time too from The One Thing by Gary Keller, right? What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary?
Mhm.
And that's really the key, is knowing what is the next thing that you need to do that moves the business forward and or eliminates other things that you need to do in the future. So it's it's just in case learning. If you need to do something now, is like, is this going to move my business forward? Yes or no? Then I'm going to go learn it and apply that, and then not worry about all the other stuff. But a lot of us are, and me included. I mean, geez, how much information do I just love learning about? But at least I'm an implementer. But I see a lot of people who just have billions and billions of notes and books and highlights and everything else, and just don't do anything with it. They want to go to the next course and just, what's that all about, right? And so it's, and I think I got to give credit to Eben again for this, because in his workshops he would do that. Like, that's where I learned speed of implementation as well. And he would teach something for 45 minutes or whatever, and there'd be like, that's cool. You go, okay, so there's a prize if you can go and do this. Come back in the next session and tell us what you did. And we would go do it, or some of us would go do it, and it's like, holy crap, that actually worked, right? And you're actually implementing what is being taught. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion.
I learned, Joey, when I was speaking and doing seminars, and I would have people for a full day or a half day or 2 days. And in the beginning of doing that, at the end, when they did their evaluations, I had to make commitments. And I was like, what 3 things are you going to do differently as a result of
Yeah.
being here? And then it got to, what 3 things are you going to do? Who are you going to be accountable to? And then
Yeah.
after a while, it was, what's the one thing you're going to do differently? Who are you going to report to, be accountable? And in 30 days, I want to hear back from it. It got to a point where I had them for sometimes 8 hours or 2 days. And it was, what's the one thing? Because there was so much. And people like, oh, I took this whole program. What'd you do? Nothing. It's like vital that one big thing that's going to move the needle.
You're welcome, Jen. I want to share a very funny story about accountability when I learned when I was in my first mastermind. And well, because what I used to do is the same thing, is have a mastermind, and then we teach them something, and they would fill out, here's the 3 things I'm going to do, and all these other kind of things. But then I said, okay, what's the 24-hour accountability that you're going to do? And you're accountable to the entire group. So that's what I did. But I learned that from my first one, which was even more crazy. So here's what happened. We were in this group, and there is, I don't know, 20 of us. And my buddy Greg, who was the coach, my coach at the time, he says, okay, look, break into 3 people and come up with the like accountability. You're going to be accountability partners to each other. Like, okay, that's cool. And then there's a penalty for like what you're going, if you're not accountable to yourself, right? And come up with the most craziest thing that you can think of, something that you would never do. Like, what is it? And we went around the room, and there was like crazy stuff, like, whatever, $100,000 to a political party that I hate, and all this kind of stuff. So I said, okay, if I don't do this, because I know I'm an implementer, I was going to do it. If I don't do this, I'm going to have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. As you know, that's not a time of the morning that I ever see in my life.
No.
Okay. And I'm going to strip down to my underwear in the middle of winter and run around the block 5 times. That was my penalty, right? Which would have just absolutely killed me. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So he goes around the room, he says all that. And I'm like, this is a no-brainer because like I'm gonna do it. There's no way I'm gonna get up at 5 and run around the block naked, right? Then he pulls the ace out of the hole. He goes, "That's great. You've all accountability to yourself." He goes, "But here's the deal. If any one of your accountability partners doesn't do what they're supposed to do, then you have to go do the." And I was freaking out, and it was the best accountability you could ever think of because every week we were on the call, and I'm like, we're all pushing each other. Like, you better do this, man, because I'm not going to run around the block. And the other dude's like, I'm not going to give $100,000, like, whatever it was.
Right.
It was like the best accountability ever. If you're honest with it, and you're going to go pull through it and all this, and yeah. So anyway, just wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing that mental picture, Joey.
Yeah, I'm sure that helped at least one person on this call.
I hope it did help one person in their journey.
Facebook user, I don't know who you are, but I'd love to give you props. But who is that? Can you read that?
I don't know, Joey. I'll read it, but I'm in both groups, and I don't know if there's a third group that I'm not in. Anyway, my why is to help women reconnect to their feminine essence. It sounds like Kali a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Nope, because there's no soul, love, and soul hug. So many women have lost touch with their feminine essence.
It is Kali, she says. Monica says it is.
I know. So what I do gives women an extraordinary chance to gain essential information about her deepest female nature, healed sexuality, deep understanding of herself, general well-being, and fulfillment are the best preconditions for a woman to find and create a satisfying relationship with a loving partner characterized by equality, mutual respect, erotic appeal, peaceful friends.
That's a long statement. That's a long why.
That's a long why. That's a thought out why. That's not that there's some depth to that why.
Very cool. I have to read it a few times to really absorb it. But
yeah, well, it goes to reconnect to their feminine essence.
Thank you for simplifying.
Well, she did it. It was right there in quotes, and then she went on.
Oh, got it. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angel. Yeah, it is to reconnect with feminine essence. Cool. Very, very cool. I love it. So yeah, what we were just talking about, like if you're just joining us now, by the way, if you're here live, #live, let us know you're live. And if it's the replay, #replay, let us know. That would be cool. And if you like what we're doing, maybe a thumbs up or a heart, smash any kind of bell or something that you like to subscribe or whatever it is that they tell you to do on the YouTubes. Anything like that would help us out. We're talking about Peter Drucker's effective executive book that kind of relates right back to all of the stuff that we're doing today, which was written over 40 years ago. And he talks a lot about knowledge-based workers, that is the future. This is where we are right now. And again, he predicted that 40 years ago. And there was one thing here I wanted to come back to. Where was it? Managing the time. I think we hit that one already, didn't we? Oh, the effective executive again is, I'll just translate that or change it into the online entrepreneur. The successful entrepreneur does not pretend to be someone else, which goes to what you just said. I don't know, maybe half an hour ago, Scott, where that person said, "I don't want to step out," because I knew that I wanted to come back to that. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to, right? And so what are they trying to do? Are they trying to be like everybody else?
Yeah. Well, we talked about it in the show. What do you stand for and what do you stand against? I think that was a few shows back.
Yeah.
It's, who are we? What are we? And that's what people want to connect to. They want. connect with somebody that stands for something and be a part of something. And that's our responsibility as successful online entrepreneurs, is to lead the way, to guide people with our insights. It goes full circle to what we started out with. It's about guide, it's about GI Joe, it's about guidance and insight. And you got to do something with the JOE so it really makes sense. Guidance and
Well, even just GI Joe works because everybody knows what GI Joe is. So
you know,
what does GI Joe means? Well, it's um what is it again? Guidance and impact. That was it. Guidance and impact.
guidance and impact, or guidance and insight.
It can be everything. A guidance and insight. You're right. Insight, and it can be impact as well.
Well,
Um,
okay, we could play with either one. Just over the edge. There you go. There's your Joe. Just over the edge. No,
guidance and insight, Joe.
guidance and insight Joe. It's a new
I love
brand
it.
of coffee called GI Joe. Guidance and insight Joe. You just drink this cup of coffee and guidance and insight instantly.
Yeah, and one of the things that this is not really a strategy, but it's true about this thing where standing out and for what you believe, that you're repelling a lot of the market and attracting the people who really want to be in your world. But like a stat, and I don't know what the numbers are anymore, but I remember reading about this where there's two examples of this. But again, it's not the strategy you want, but it kind of works. It's like when Hillary Clinton was going for president. You probably know more about this than I do. When she wrote her book, the Hillary haters, the people who hated her, bought more of her book than the people who loved her. So her book sales went through the roof because the haters wanted to know what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same as Howard Stern. People tune into Howard Stern more, like the people who hate him tune into him more than the people who love him, only because they want to know what he's saying so they can go and rant about it.
Right.
So in essence, like his show and her book sales go through the roof because she's standing out or being who they are, and people who hate them are actually driving their business forward. And that's what I say. This is not really strategy for us. Like, hey, let's get people to hate us so we can build our business. But
It's not a strategy, but it's kind of supporting that you've got to get out there and be who you are and not be afraid to put it out and stand for what you stand for and share your values and your beliefs and your opinions, and not be afraid that someone's going to disagree, because they're going to. They have to. It's a fact of life. People are
yeah,
going to.
and what do they say in the online world, that when you finally get haters, you actually made it?
Exactly.
Right. So it's the same thing.
It's like
It
the saying, say good things, say bad things, just say things about me.
yeah. I've never heard that one.
Really? Yeah. Say good.
Or maybe I've heard it before, but I forgot it for sure. But that's so cool.
Love it. Say good things, say bad things, just say things about me.
That's so cool.
At least they're talking about you. Because if someone's talking about you, it's like, oh, I wonder why they're saying that, Scott's a jerk. Well,
Yeah.
let me check it out and see, because, well, he doesn't seem like a jerk. Or you're right, he is a jerk. Whatever. Either way. And then I'm not saying that I want to develop that as a strategy. But again, we talk about heart-centered. We talk about purpose-driven. We talk about spirit. We talk about love. We talk about love and soul hugs. Lissandro comes on and talks about getting in touch with their spirit and expressing their lives. There'd be groups out there that are like, how'd your funnel do? How'd your Facebook ad? And what were your conversions? And how much cold traffic? And what were your reach? And how many people came in? And what was your ad spend? And how many people clicked? And what was your click-through rate? What was your KPI, this and that? And, oh, you got to increase that. What was your SLO? And what was your XYZ and ABC and PTX? And it'd be like, I got to serve some people today and help them that they're going to help some other people today. It was a great day.
Yeah, exactly.
My KPI was.
Yeah. Yep. That's the whole thing is like we do a lot of repelling, and when people listen to our stuff are like, these, what are they talking about? I get it once in a while where what are you talking about? You can't love your client. Like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
What planet are you on?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, you're heart-centered. That means you don't want to make money. No, that's not what it means.
But well, I don't think I've heard that one.
I heard it this week.
Is really well, because
I
All
did.
I'm seeing is everybody jumping on the heart-centered bandwagon, that's for sure. Everybody's
Yeah.
framing it as heart-centered and
Yeah.
soul-centered and all this other kind of stuff, which is cool. It's gonna happen. But, yeah, I never heard that one. You're heart-centered, but you don't wanna make money. That is wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a way to end the show.
Okay, there you go.
I'm trying to put the link in for the group if you are wanting to join our heart-centered group. If you don't want to make money, I'm just kidding. If you want to join our heart-centered group with amazing people, many of them have been joining us on this conversation today. You're totally welcome. That's where you come into this world. Scott and I are in there every day, and we have an amazing conversation in there. We don't do any selling in there. It's not anything that you're used to in some of those groups. We all know who they are, so we just try to do something to help you out. Join us there if you're heart centered and you do want to make money to move the mission forward, but in a very honest, calm, cool way, with just bringing in dream clients that you love, that charge your batteries, that you want to hang around with. I can't express more how that feels. And Scott, you're in that world now, aren't you?
I am in that world and I love it. And I love helping people that are heart centered and purpose driven and spiritual and just want to serve. And yeah, they want to make money, but they also want to do it in a loving, caring, generous way. And that's what we've been doing here for the last 122 weeks is sharing with people how we do it.
Brilliantly said. Thank you for all of your help for the last 122 weeks, my friend. And thank you for being here, supporting us for 122 weeks. We love you. We will see you inside the group. If not, we will see you maybe again next Tuesday night. So have yourself an amazing week.